I'm Steve Currington, mortgage banker, and every single day, probably 99% of all borrowers that we talk to about applying for a mortgage are very concerned about credit inquiries. They're worried about it's going to affect my credit. My credit score is going to drop dramatically if I get a credit inquiry. They're afraid that they're not going to qualify because they got too many inquiries. And I'm here to tell you it's completely false. So whether you have good credit or you have bad credit, you should never worry about credit inquiries at all, because they just don't have a significant effect on your credit scores. And anyone that tells you otherwise is probably just using that as part of their sales tactic. Let me give you an example of that. So let's say you have a 781 credit score, and you will have a lender that says, hey man, congratulations, your credit's awesome, and I got you the best rate. You're in like the top tier. We call it our platinum tier, but don't get your credit pulled by anyone else, because if your score drops, it's going to drop you down into a different bucket and you may not get that rate. And let's say you have bad credit, like your borderline credit. Then this is how they use it. Hey man, I barely got you approved. So don't get your credit pulled by anyone else, because I don't want your score to drop. And so everyone from the uneducated to the educated about the process, from your doctors and lawyers to your people that work at McDonald's, all have this understanding that if I get my credit pulled, my score is going to drop. And it just absolutely is not the case. In fact, they passed legislation years ago that allows you to shop for big ticket items like cars and mortgages. And you actually have a 15-day window where you can have up to 10 like inquiries. At the end of 30 days from that first one, they just lump them together and count them as one. So I'm here to tell you that shop with confidence, worry about paying your credit card accounts and your car payments and everything on time, managing your credit card balances so that you're not maxing them out. And that is going to have the best effect on your credit. Credit inquiries, not so much. I'm Steve Currington. You can reach me at 918-281-5475 or stevecurrington.com.